Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Outside the Locker Room podcast, where I do a deep dive into MSUM athletes' lives outside of their respective sport. I'm your host, Carter Powell, and today's special guest is an MSUM football player. He's a senior linebacker, captain of the team, NSIC Defensive Player of the Week, and I would even say he's a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitchell Jazerski.
Pitch back. This is Holcomb. He's got speed, but it's strung out. Mitchell Jazierski, who was the NSIC Defensive Player of the Week for his 18 tackles up in the woodshed at Northern Michigan. Just made a terrific tackle there.
Hey guys.
Mitch, it's an honor to have you here today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So, I know you as Mitch. Your real name is Mitchell, right?
Correct.
What do you prefer? Do you have a preference?
Most everyone just calls me Mitch other than my mom and grandma, so Mitch works just fine.
Yeah. And on the job site, he's Big Bad Mitch.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Oh yeah. So that it's Jazerski for any of you that don't know. It's spelled kind of weird.
It can be difficult sometimes, yes.
All right. So the point of this is to get you to know you better outside football, but got to talk some ball first. So
That's right.
you lead the team with 39 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 3 TFLs, and Week 0 NSIC Player of the Week. How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. It's definitely like crazy being it's my senior year, so it's definitely weird looking at it that way, and just that I've played football my entire life, and it's kind of coming to an end now. Obviously everyone's got dreams of playing in the league or going big, but you also got to have a little bit of realistic thought. It's obviously Jack Strand has potential to be that way. So I cheer him on, but just having that realistic mindset of just enjoying every moment that I have. Um, Obviously, yeah, there's stats about it. I really pride myself not really caring about it. Obviously, it's cool, but I don't really like attention to be honest. So it's not like a big thing for me. But yeah, it's an honor to be excelling out there. So
Because this is like your first year, because like you played like every game like last 2 years, but this is your first time being like a basically every down player, right?
yeah, so basically my going to my freshman year, um, I was just like the kind of like the backup. There's a senior, it's his fifth year, and he was obviously the starter. So I definitely backed him up throughout the game, just at that the mic position. He ended up getting hurt, so I did start 2 games as a freshman. It's not like I did all that well. There were lots of mistakes in that round. And then second and third year was basically just the backup for both the Mike and Will. So basically, was a back for 2 guys. Got lots of snaps, started plenty of games throughout there just because due to injuries. But yeah, this is the first year where it's just like, set in stone, starter, first guy up. So yeah.
It's got to be pretty rough on the bodies on Sundays, huh?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, even just the last couple of years, I'd be sore on Sundays and I'd be getting, 30, 40 snaps. But as of late, we've been, being a starter now, it's, 70, 80, 90 snaps. And, after the game, sometimes feel pretty good. But then wake up Sunday morning and it hits you like a truck.
We cold tubbing, or it's just ibuprofen and
Yeah, honestly, I don't like cold tubs that much. I only really use cold tubs if I'm like really like if it's like a hot practice, like it's more of a cool down just to kind of get the body back down than it is to really recovery. I for some reason just feel like I get super tight and super sore when I cold tub. So, and honestly, I don't really take ibuprofen necessarily for the soreness. It's more for the headaches. That's usually the thing. But I'm not a big ibuprofen before the game. I'm more of a you know take some medicine after to deal with a little bit of the headaches and aches and pains and inflammation. So
got any pregame rituals, or you just like show up to the facility, grab a protein shake, and get
no, it's not. I mean, I'm not like super like superstitious at all. It's more just like when I get to the field, we usually if it's away games, we get there at what 2 hours before game time. Um, I try to do the same thing when we're at home. I basically always just go to the field. I get both AirPods in. I take my shoes off and my socks. Grounding would be the fancy way of putting it, but I just like feeling the turf. Sometimes I'll play catch, but otherwise it's kind of I do not play like super hype up music because I'm already amped enough. It's more of the other way where I'm trying to calm myself down, so try and play some slower stuff. Really like country music, so it's kind of the stuff that I do normally to try and bring myself, back down. Other than that, though, then I just get in, get dressed, get taped, play. I play one song, "Zombie" by Bad Wolves. That's about it's the one hype up song I'll do right before we start our warm ups. So
so I'll make sure to keep you to that when it's like November and if there's snow on the ground. I'll make sure you go out there with your bare feet.
I'm gonna have to.
Be the next Matt Collins
Yeah,
of
no
Division
shit.
Two football.
That's crazy about that. That's a little over the top, I think.
So who's your number one country artist? Who's that?
Definitely Cody Johnson. I mean, obviously, there's some older guys that are definitely up there too. But as of now, Cody Johnson is by far my favorite. So,
He's the one.
oh yeah.
So how did you choose MSU and what was that process like?
I knew pretty early, probably around freshman sophomore year, that college football was something that I definitely wanted to do. My dad played college football, so kind of wanted to follow in his shoes. I've always loved football, so I definitely wanted to do that. So kind of, I mean, COVID hit, so that kind of made a deterrence on like recruiting process. But I went to definitely a couple of prospect camps. Did not really like that realm. So more of just trying to do it on like social media, like Twitter was kind of like the big thing, or X. Um, and that was kind of the way of contacting coaches. Um, that's kind of how I started. I didn't really like look at schools necessarily for academics right away. It was definitely regarding football, and then because I honestly didn't even know what I really wanted to do. But once I kind of decided that I wanted to do exercise science or kinesiology and kind of PT route, I knew I needed to have like an exercise science program. Most schools really have that, so that wasn't really like a hindering factor. But more so recruiting wise for football. Um, I went to kind of a bunch of different schools with junior day visits and all that stuff. Um, and obviously you get offers and stuff like that. So when deciding that, it was more just like where did I feel kind of at home and where did I feel just like I kind of belonged. And it's kind of like weird to explain because I think a lot of people just say like, well, it felt like home. And it's like that's kind of a little bit of just kind of filler. Like obviously I'd never been away from home for a while, so it was a big deal where I was going. And I knew I wanted to be away where I felt away, but also like where I didn't have to spend my entire weekend driving if I wanted to see my family. So the 3 hours,
You're from the cities, right?
yeah, just outside of the cities, Rogers, so just outside of the cities, about 25 miles outside the cities. So it's kind of like a perfect 3 hours where I can make a weekend work and it doesn't feel like I'm driving the whole time. So I definitely the location was good. Um, they had exercise science. I knew there was it's kind of like a central Fargo's is kind of a central area, so like I knew grad schools would be relatively close in proximity. And then obviously football. Had an opportunity to get a scholarship to play here, so that was a big deal. And just the mentality that the coaches have, that it was not really less like it wasn't about me, and I like that. Like they weren't just trying to like just say how good I was like that. They're like, well, we want you to be a part of this team, and you're gonna have to find a role inside this team. And I kind of like that, not dumbed down version, but just like it's not gonna be perfect. We're not gonna promise you minutes and stuff like that. So definitely the coach philosophy definitely helped me and helped me make my decision to stay and come here.
What was it like for you? Because I remember talking to you in like the summer, like
Mhm.
how what an honor it'd be to be named captain. So what was that like for you?
I like I was mentioning earlier, I really don't like stats or awards. I don't like attention. I really just like playing football, and that's why I play it. I don't play it for recognition. But there's one award that I will forever cherish, and that is being captain. I think that's a really big deal because you're selected by your teammates. It's not by the media or by the coaches or because you're a good player. But like in college football, you get selected because you impact the players around you. So it truly is an absolute honor to be selected as a captain.
Any any NIL offers coming through?
Probably not. Not that I really look into it. I don't know. I feel like that's such a wish-washy area. Like,
That's such a Jack Strand thing.
yeah, and like you got to be a lot bigger than that. But no, not that I really looked into it.
We'll get them. We'll get them coming through this.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll get my name out. It'll be good.
So let's say Dragons Dragons play every home game at noon. Get home at like what do you get home like 3:30, 4 probably.
Yeah, probably really close.
What's the wind down process like that? After
Uh, Wind down is definitely eat pretty exhausted. I don't really like to eat much before game, so game day. So I'm pretty tired, obviously, after the game, and I didn't really eat that much. So it's definitely eat some food, and then I usually eat a little too much, so then I'm so full that I need to just kind of lay on the couch for a little bit. But watch college football. Can never get too much football. Usually I rewatch the game. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, just because I'm getting angry at it if we were to be losing in that scenario. But yeah, and my family, I'm very blessed. My family shows up to every single game. So away games, I spend a little bit of time with them right before we leave on the bus. So not really that long. But home games, they always stay up here. So hang out with them, and it's not like we have to talk about the game, but it's just, family's a big thing for me, so spending time with them is really important. And my sister usually comes up too, so that's a big deal. But not much. Eat, relax, and hang out with family.
Speaking of family, I know you got like that tattoo on your bicep.
I do.
When'd you get that?
Um, that would have been the winter of my freshman year, so after my first season here, so it would have been, oh boy, 2022.
23.
Yeah, I think I got in December, so it would have been December
22.
of 22. Yeah.
So I really like that tattoo. I don't have any right now, but I definitely like it. That's pretty cool. And then you got this new one.
Yep.
When'd you get that?
That would have been in I was over like 3 different sessions. So I got it
How many hours?
12. Yeah. Honestly, the pain isn't that bad. It's more of
You
just the
just
money,
sitting there.
the money pocket. It's just dripping out of my pocket because it's going away. But I felt it was needed to spend good money on somebody. It's permanent. So I was like, I am getting it done correctly. But it was December, January, and February. So what, 2024 into 2025.
Is it like honors or like what's the symbolism there?
Yeah, so it's 3 roses, and across. Obviously, the number of roses don't really mean anything to me, but the way I think about it is, well, one, I want to definitely incorporate a cross on my arm, and I thought it was a really cool design of having the cross necessarily like just not just a cross on my arm, but like it's kind of formed through the roses and the petals and everything, and just knowing that roses are normally red. Obviously, there's more than red roses, but I think when I think of a rose, I think it's red, and that represents the blood that you just shed on the cross for us. And also just roses also are like a remembrance of love, and just knowing that I'm gonna make mistakes, life's gonna be tough, but I always know that Jesus loves me. So
Sweet. So how was your? Because I mean, we worked 2.5 summers together. How was your internship over the summer?
no, it was good. Definitely nice being inside in the AC. I felt pretty good. Definitely missed seeing the sun though. I was on the weekends. I was like, I need to go outside. Like I just inside all day. It was nice because I worked 4 days a week, 2 11s and 2 9s. So it was nice having Fridays off. Kind of had that anyways. But got my hours in. It was kind of nice working at something different, not just like outside. Kind of like I couldn't really shut my brain off like I did at work at the parks, just because it's just manual labor, so you don't really necessarily have to be thinking all that hard.
Someone's
Um,
got to.
yeah, someone does that though, and you make sure to tell us what to do. That's funny. But yeah, so kind of had to apply my knowledge, but it's I've been lifting my entire life. So working at Sanford Power and working with the strength and conditioning program, it wasn't like it was crazy because I've been doing it my entire life, so that wasn't too bad.
So what were you like doing like helping people like rehab stuff?
No, so well, kind of. It was more so. Stanford has a PT program, and then they have their PT side, obviously, their sports PT, and then they have their strength and conditioning side. So I was with the strength and conditioning side because that's on the side that has internships. So I was basically just helping train. I trained a 95-year-old, and I trained the 7-year-old, and then all the ages in between. So definitely hit all the ages with training them, and then I was able to get really close with the Stanford PTs there. So I got a lot of my observation hours there as well. I'm observing PT, so just kind of working out. There's a turf facility there too, so a little bit of everything.
So after doing something like that, you're like, yeah, this is definitely something I want to do after.
Yeah, I definitely figured out like the population I want to work with. I mean, it was nice that I was able to work with basically all the population, so I knew kind of what I wanted to. Definitely know that I don't have a passion for geriatrics for older individuals. Obviously, we need those individuals to be healthy, and people have that passion, so that's good. I don't mind pediatrics, but I kind of like that middle age. I know I really like working with athletes, so that's a big thing for me. But really, just anyone that has motivation.
Perfect. Do you have a winter job? I know you have a winter job lined up. You excited for that?
Yeah, it's an honor to be a Zamboni driver. Definitely going into it, I was like, there's no way it's as easy as it seems. It is actually relatively easy once you figure it out. You have to smack the boards a few times and, drop the blade a little low and fill the whole bucket up with ice sometimes, but
Sometimes yell at kids.
sometimes have to yell at kids when they're in your way. But it's super nice, low key, not stressful, gets homework done. And, it's working with guys that I know, so that's definitely a big deal. I don't gotta be worrying about that because they're all dudes that I know I can hang out with, so that's a big deal.
Got any good stories from either working at Sanford or and other jobs?
Well, there's countless stories, working at the parks. Some of them probably should keep to myself. No, but working with a lot of guys has been good. I don't know, the first one I thought of was this last winter when our supervisor Tyson proceeded to lower the blade because he wanted to shave off a couple layers of the ice, which is, you have to do it every once in a while. It's good maintenance. But he always emphasizes on making sure to, raise the blade back up. Well, Mr. Supervisor forgot to do that, and me and Adam, another employee there, were working a tournament, first game of the day, around 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's going around, he's just finishing up, and Zamboni's starting to make some funny noises. We're like, what is going on? It's starting to spit out some. It's not picking up all the ice. We're like, what the heck? End up finishing. The ice looks fine. Get off, and he was driving the Zamboni, so I help pull the ice off, close the doors, whatever. We get back in the shop or the garage area, and we're about to drop the ice. And he starts lifting the bucket up, and it is completely and entirely packed full. And we spent probably the next 20 minutes getting the ice into the drop spot or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, let's raise the blade a little bit. Call Tyson, and he goes, oh yeah, forgot to raise that. And I was like, yeah, we almost like filled the entire Zamboni up, and would have been an issue if we ran out of room, but it all worked out thankfully. So
Yeah, one of my favorite Mitch work stories is when you slipped in the garage and got a new phone out of it.
yeah, that happened too. That probably was like 2 weekends prior. Yeah, that's a dark moment. Not my most athletic moment either. I did catch myself. Unfortunately, my phone in my back pocket reaches farther than my actual glutes do. So I thought I was safe. Pulled my phone out of my back pocket, and she was dented.
Yeah, I have a supervisor story as well. So he was told, I asked him, because I was supposed to work the weekend. I was like, hey, what time's the first game? He's like, oh, it's at like 9, so we'll get there at 8. So I was like, okay. Wake up at like, I don't know, like 7,
Mhm.
probably 7. Get up there. I don't bring my phone in the bathroom. I just go in there, like, brush my teeth, put my contacts in. And I come back to my room and I just have like 10 missed calls from our supervisor. Or from our higher up. Called Supervisor Tyson. I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, yeah, sorry, tournament starts at 7. That's my bad.
That hurts. And
Then,
then hockey parents are a little vocal,
oh my,
they're a little bit into it a little
they're a
bit.
little bit into it, and their kids are a little bit of freaking numbskulls.
Yeah, they're definitely some hoots, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. So I also want to congratulate you because you starting linebacker, lead team tackles, but this is also like the best start the Dragons have had in football since like 2015 because that team was like, I think they're 3-0-2 and then they lost their next one. But so this is one of the better starts to the season we had in a while. What's happened? Like,
It's been good. I mean, we have a lot of potential on this team. We have a lot of guys returning, and we really have high hopes and high potential in ourselves, and we know that we can get it done. Obviously, this last week was not how we wanted it to go, but
went out.
went out, and there's always an opportunity to go, and we know that we can beat any team if we play to our best potential. Obviously, every team kind of has that mindset, but I think we have a deep rooted belief in each other, which I think is huge. And if you don't have belief in each other, how can you get it done? So I know that defense trusts the offense, and we all trust the special teams. So it's one play at a time, not put too much stress on it, going out there and playing ball. We all play the sport because we enjoy it. So going out there and having fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, because you guys have had like, there's obviously been like some changes, but you've had like the same like core of guys for like the last like 3 years with like Jack, Gage, Brady,
Yeah.
Adam.
It's been nice just being guys that I've been here for 4 years with. It's not guys in and out and out. Like we're not a big transfer portal team. We definitely just embrace with what we have, and we know that the answers are within the walls. So it's really cool to be with guys that I've known for a while. So
What's the what was it like living with? I mean, living in the dorms and then going from living in the dorms to like a football house. What was that like?
yeah, it's definitely dorms were obviously I don't ever wish to do that again. It was definitely an experience. I'm glad I did it. I don't regret it at all. It was definitely awesome. I met some really cool guys, some guys that I'm still friends with, really close friends with now. Um, it's weird, sharing a room with a guy. The first couple of days it was like I do not know who you are. This is my second day meeting you, and we're sleeping in the same room essentially. So that was an adjustment, that's for sure. But it was good. We got close, really close, so that was cool. Moving into the house, it was nice to just have a bathroom that wasn't down the hall, wasn't sharing it with 30 other guys. Definitely like making my own food. Dining hall was nice, obviously convenient, but not necessarily the food that I normally eat. So it was nice to kind of just have my own food, my own area. We were like really close to campus, so it wasn't like I was having to drive a lot, like a far distance. So that was good. But it's nice to just kind of be a little independent.
Yeah. What's your class load looking like this year?
Not too bad. I mean, for prereqs for PT school, there's definitely a lot of sciences. So I got, both my semesters of biology and chemistry done. Now I'm moving on to physics. Lots of math. Honestly, don't mind that part. Just, you know, learning, that's for sure. I'm also taking exercise interpretation, so kind of like two exercise classes, with like program design and how you're going to handle dealing with clients, how you're going to do different tests, and how you're going to interpret them. Also taking, it used to be called abnormal psychology, it's now advanced psychopathology, but it's just a deep dive into psychology, really all that it is. It's definitely a big prerequisite for PT school.
What's your like life balance with like stuff like get up like lifts in the morning and then you have like class like all day and then practice and then like go home and try and relax, but at that point it's like 6 o'clock, you probably have homework to do. So like what's that balance like? And then you also have a girlfriend they gotta see at some point too.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I kind of just enjoy it now while I can. And it's kind of nice to have a busy schedule. There's definitely days where it's like, holy smokes, I just want to lay down. But you kind of just got to get through those ones. But yeah, I mean, every day starts with some sort of football. Either that's meetings, walkthrough, or it's lift. And then I usually transition to going into class, either physics certain days or my exercise science classes. Basically class all day. Sometimes I have lab, and then go to practice. Practice is about 3 hours, so that gets me about 5:30, 6 o'clock. Get home, make dinner, and then usually try to work on a little bit of homework, watch film. Try and leave about an hour each night to just try and decompress. So basically, just lay there and look at my phone or something. But my girlfriend's super busy. She's in her master's program, so she's got probably more school than I do. And she's a GA too, so she's super busy. But it's kind of nice. Just she either comes over to my house or I go over to hers, and we just do homework together. We're both kind of embracing the grind a little bit, but busy, busy. Tell you that.
Yeah, because I mean, all the retired football players we work with, there's definitely times where they miss it, and then it's like, you know what? I got to sleep until 6:30 today. How nice is that?
Yeah, no kidding. Just having, I mean, I spend what 4 or 5 hours my day with football, so it's like just that's 5 hours more of my day. Um, so it's gonna be a transition from playing football since I was second grade, so 7 or 8 years old till now. So it's been most majority of my life. So it's gonna be a transition, but I think it's really better. I'm thinking, next phase of my life, which is trying to pursue a career. So.
What would you say has been your favorite thing about being here at MSUM, whether it's like the people or like just outside of school stuff? Like, what's your favorite part about being at MSUM?
I'd say just the relationships. Obviously, I have a girlfriend, which is a big deal. Pretty cool. Obviously pursuing that. But also just the friends and the lasting relationships I'm gonna have. Obviously, the coaches too. They're really great guys, and they really don't. They pursue you as a person outside of football, which is a big deal. I think a lot of schools don't necessarily do that. They try and grow you as a man outside of football because they know football's not forever. But it was crazy to me. Just I grew up with guys, and I'm definitely closer to most of the guys I spend my time with here, and that's really cool to me. That we're all from different areas, different backgrounds. Definitely some weird cats in there, but we embrace each other, and we just there's things that we have in common, things that we don't have in common, but that's just how close we are, and it's truly a brotherhood. So I would say just the relationships. That's the stuff I'll carry with me forever.
All right, well, I think that's pretty much all I got for anything else you want to say.
No, just thank you for having me on.
Mitchell Jezierski, everybody.
Thank you.